how we can encourage learners to complete the course during personal study time. And this setting homework, I think we have to make it more robust nowadays. Because there might be more remote delivery, we have to make it more worthwhile for students to go above and beyond the lessons that we're working through. And any time when a teacher can save sort of a moment in not having to build a resource, we're going to snap that up immediately. So it could be that you set these videos for your students to watch. And what's really nice is, as you can see, it tells you whether the video has been not started. Pending means part of it has been watched. And then you'll see in a minute that you can also have completed. So right now, I'd be getting told off by my teacher because clearly I haven't done my homework. And then as an individual, as a teacher, I might choose to set a small activity or a task that would then lead on from these videos, just so I can check the knowledge of my learners. But I think being able to guide students to an external source that looks really professional kind of really enhances how important it is to complete during their own personal study time. So when you go onto the site, what you can also see is a course dashboard. And you can then look through week by week how much has been completed. You can then also go through lesson by lesson how much has been completed. So I've got quite a few zeros on my course. I'm going to get told off, but I've also got some that are at 100% completed. This is really nice for us because it means we can assess how much our learners are doing. It's not set them a task and let them run free and hope for the best. There is a way to check that they are engaging with the material. And having that dashboard, I think it's beneficial for us as teachers. As much as we try and let go, having some element of control, it works in our favour. As you can see here, yep, so you can see whether I've not started, whether I'm pending, or whether I've completed. So that's selection bias. That means I've watched the entire video, which means I get the green completed. And that, I think, is quite good. What I would say on this front is it's worth checking the videos before you set them as homework or personal study, only because some are maybe more engaging than others. Some show you the more practical elements of how to utilize a technique rather than the theoretical side. And I think the theoretical might switch learners off. They might not necessarily watch the entire video. I think if you're able to maybe work through that with the student and then you set them the more practical video, that would probably have a better outcome for both you and your learner. Okay, so for trying out the study skills during the classroom activities, the final section of the 8-week module that you get the free trial to looks at how to persuade. And this, I think, is a really, really useful tool that you can use in the classroom because you're putting the responsibility onto the learners to try and use the technique. I've recently just gone through, so we at college offer an EPQ, so an extended project, and part of that means the students have to present to me. And they were all terrified about doing it. And I was just a single person that they were presenting to, and it was done remotely. So I think the more we can introduce the idea of taking a technique and sharing it with peers and making it quite natural behavior, the better the students are going to be when it comes to selling themselves at an interview or trying to find new opportunities. They're actually really nervous about selling their potential. So this technique means not only are we working on those presentation skills, but we're also working on persuading people to believe in us. So the how to persuade, the how to say nothing, the one I picked up on was looking at body language, and how you can sell yourself without necessarily having to use 4 million words to do it. So I think for this, we would get the students to watch the video in their own time. So we quite regularly in class would encourage learners to put their headphones in, watch one of the videos that we've set that relates to coursework, They take notes at their own pace, and that's a really important thing here, is letting the students digest the information at their own pace. And then they come away, maybe they work in groups. So if you're setting them, I don't know, posing a question, for example, then they can watch the video, they can write down the techniques, they can work with their peers to design whatever it is they're going to argue for, and then they have the presentation. And this is something that can be done both in class and it can be done online. We have no idea what education is going to look like come September. So I think having this opportunity to deliver stuff that can be done face-to-face and can be done remotely, that's really exciting and really important. So we have some really exciting things coming up with Augment. So the first thing is that the website is now live. So I think it went live on like the 6th of July. So this is what I mean. It's super, super new. And you get that free trial. So the 8 modules that you saw when I first logged on. So you have access to these 8 modules, and each of them have 4 materials inside. So there's 4 different videos. All the videos vary in length. So some are 3 minutes long, some are 6 minutes long. You can kind of get lost and take it week by week, which is very nice. What I also love is the fact that there is a discussion forum, which means that there's an opportunity for collaborative learning and the opportunity for shared teacher experience. Any time when we can use each other's skills, we should snap it up. So one of my kind of small criticisms on this is that there's only assessment at weeks 16 and 32. So what I feel could be worthwhile is in this discussion forum, if you didn't watch that, so I just clicked the 3 lines at the top, which brings me my menu, and I clicked discussion forum, and that opened up this learning forum here. Actually, as teachers, we can share different ways that we've assessed our learners. You may have designed a Google form, you may have designed a workbook. Actually sharing what you did after the lessons or what assessment techniques you tried afterwards, I think is amazing. So the discussion forum, I think, opens up the opportunity to try or introduce new assessment methods. But as I say, at the moment, that's kind of one of my criticisms, is that there's not mini assessments throughout. I think it would have been nice to maybe assess at each section. So how did we do on the how to think? How did we do on the how to learn? How did we do on the how to persuade? This is still super new though, so that may be something that's in the pipeline. But, you know, there is the opportunity to have a go on the discussion forum to see if we can build up new stuff. So general review, I love the concept of Augment. I love the fact that they're trying to develop the soft skills, and that's something that I think we forget as educators, that the soft skills are just as vital as some of those hard skills. The intro on each video means, and there's a small intro on each video that's about 10 to 13 seconds long. For me, it felt like it broke the focus, because I almost just wanted the video to get started, particularly when I was doing a module at a time. I found it a little bit frustrating to have to sit through the intro. I am also the sort of person though that will watch Netflix and I will skip the intro every single time. So that is just a personal thing. I'd rather just get straight into the point of the video. Some aspects of the site are still incomplete as well. It's really so minute, it really doesn't cause offense in any way. But there's a couple of sections. Let me find the right. Okay, it's so minimal, it's probably not even worth bringing up. But in week 7, for example, there's a little thing down the side here saying, what will I learn? Oh, what will I learn? And actually it doesn't have anything in it. I'm not saying that it impacts the experience in any way, shape or form, but it might be quite nice to have a quick, for a teacher anyway, for us to go, okay, so in this lesson they'll learn this, this and this. and it means that I might be able to better find videos to set for homework or for my lesson, for example. I only think this is suitable for certain age groups as well. So as I've said many a time, I teach 16 to 19. I don't think that they would engage with Augment on a personal basis. So if I set this as homework, I don't think that they would open it, and I don't think they would benefit from the point of Augment, which is a shame. I do think, however, there is a huge potential to use it up to about year 6, so up to about the age year 11, potentially up to year 8, maybe year 9. Yeah, I don't think beyond kind of year 9, so about age 13. I don't necessarily think there's capacity before that, purely because students get very focused on subject-specific content at that point. And that isn't necessarily a downside to Augment, it's a downside to the way that we currently assess our learners, is that they panic and think that they have to absorb every bit of subject-specific knowledge, but they get a bit lost in anything that doesn't relate to the subjects that they're studying. So I think up until about the age of 13, there's capacity to introduce Augment, but otherwise I don't think going above that, they would necessarily benefit in the same way. I said this before, so choosing videos to set as homework, choosing them wisely. So some are slightly less engaging because they're too theoretical. Obviously, you want to give the background to the technique, but I don't necessarily think that that's a homework task. I think that's something that you'd maybe watch together in lesson, and you set the scene and then give them the practical stuff to do on their own. And then finally, yeah, like I've said again, I would maybe prefer more assessments to practice the new skills. Again, this is a personal thing. I need to try stuff out for it to really embed in my head. To just watch a video, it doesn't stay in my mind. Whereas if I've actually got an activity to complete or a multi-choice or something that engages me beyond just the videos, then it's more likely that it will become more natural to introduce that technique or that way of writing or thinking. So I think having more activities could really enhance how people engage with Augment. So that's kind of everything from my perspective.
Again, thank you all so much for coming. Hopefully you gained a little bit of something from this. Feel free to get in touch, and hopefully I'll see you at some future tutorials.